Greg, is that you?
Hey, Szos, how you doing?
Good, good. How's it going?
It's going all right. It's going all right. How about yourself?
I'm very well. I'm looking forward to this conversation. We had our intro call where we got to co-create our relationship, and so now we get to dive right in. So what would you like to work on today?
Uh, you know, I guess you didn't have anything in mind. I've kind of been given this initiative at work, and it's going. Um, it's just not going so hot exactly as as I planned. So if we could maybe just kind of explore that, if that's all right with you.
Yes. Okay. So exploring an initiative at work that isn't going how you planned.
Yes.
Okay, great. So tell me a little bit about what didn't go as planned.
All right. Well, sure. Basically, I've been given. I'm running. I'm kind of the head of strategy here. And really, very personally, my boss Leona gave me this initiative. And really the way I saw it, this is my chance to really take something and run with it. Really just kind of prove what I'm capable of. But really, I just had very little control over my team. I feel like it's it's not that they dislike me or it just seems as if I'm just not really running it well, and I don't fully understand why. Um,
And what's that like for you?
well, maybe like just kind of an example might be a little clearer. Like last month, basically we had to, I ran this meeting where we had to really make a decision on whether, business decision on purchasing trucks or vans. And really the meeting just totally spiraled out of control. I really had I just had no way of, I don't know, kind of corralling everyone back in. And it really wasn't until, my colleague Dave just kind of totally hijacked the meeting from me and the decision itself.
And just
going back to my
Greg. So, and what was it like for you when Dave hijacked the meeting?
Well, it was, it was kind of, it was fairly, my first reaction is, I really wanted to make sure I, save face, but, this is also, I understand, I'm kind of coming in, I'm new to this initiative. He's been around, he certainly has a voice there. I don't want to step on his toes there. But really at the end of the day, it's my decision. So I just felt, I don't know, I understand. So I'm not angry. It's just, it's more of I felt like I didn't have control, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard you mention control twice now. And so say a little bit about this desire for control.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, when I was, just really a lot of, for example, when I was in, business school, when I had a project, we were all on the same page. If I wanted to run something, I'm just kind of able to push. Control would let me direct the ideas of everyone to achieving a goal, and everyone's able to do things to the best of their ability. And really, at the end of the day, I get the final say. But through my control, I have all the information I need from everyone in the group to make that decision.
Yes. And so what's the impact on you when you're experiencing that lack of control?
I mean, yeah, I just feel I turn into like I don't know, kind of like I'm trying, for lack of a better word, kind of a clown in a way. I think, I think I start getting really nervous. I can feel it getting out of control. and it just makes me lose focus on what I was doing there in the first place. And that's when things even, that's when things get even worse. I feel like when, I'm no longer directing the meeting, I'm worried about how do I usher people back in, but I just don't know. I think that's the problem. I don't know how to usher in how to usher in my colleagues back into the meeting.
Yeah. I hear you. I noticed my hands got really sweaty, and you mentioned being nervous, and you also mentioned feeling like a clown. What's it like to feel like a clown?
It's in a business setting, it's not ideal. You feel really, I don't know, you start fumbling, and I'm the head of strategy. I should be making decisions. I shouldn't be feeling powerless. Really, I think a better analogy is I feel like I need to, like I'm a third grade teacher. Like I need to yell or shout at somebody to get them back. During the meeting, one of my colleagues, Andrea, just kind of ran off and had a phone call in the middle of the meeting. And I wanted to shout and be like, get that, come back. What are you doing? But how do you do that to another adult in a professional setting? It's not really how I imagined, working in a professional setting to be, if anything.
Yeah, so I got a sense of just feeling powerless.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me, what's the impact on your leadership effectiveness when you're feeling powerless?
Again, it totally, totally negates it. I think, again, I think really the key, a lot of it is losing focus. I understand this material as well as anyone, and then as soon as I feel powerless, I lose the focus of driving towards what our goal was and being able to contribute even my thoughts. That's essentially.
Yeah. Good. I hear your genuine desire to do your best. I can tell you're a really intentional person, Greg.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So what is it that you're wanting for this situation?
I guess, so I want to be able to really knock this out of the park. I really want to, take this position of authority and be able to really impress Leona, my boss, and really show what I'm capable of. At the same time, though, I feel like, I also want to kind of be a man of the people, a man of, working with these other, I don't want to have to totally negate other people's ideas. I want to be able to use everyone's ideas, and I want, to have the approval and the trust of the people I work closely with, while still not forfeiting my position of authority, I guess.
Yes. So I'm hearing lots of values there. You mentioned trust, authority, approval. So what do you know is true about you that maybe you're not letting be present?
That I guess that I am decisive. I've made very decisive decisions in my life, and I know that about myself. I'm also very competent and very intelligent, but just not being able to show that, I feel like those are getting masked up and coming off as more of incapable. Having a word with my boss the other day with Leona, she's just kind of wondering why decisions are taking a long time, or why I have very little ownership of them. And I I think that is masking those other qualities in myself that I just mentioned.
Yeah, well, I noticed you said, I am decisive, and you said it with a lot of authority.
Right.
Can you connect to that? Can you feel that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we can see the contrast between that, the bumbling third grade teacher who's feeling really powerless, and then we have this more present, I am decisive, Greg, who's owning his authority.
Mm-hmm.
So from this place, what will you commit to? What will you say yes to?
Well, you know, I want to say yes to, I guess, you know, just kind of saying what is on my mind. I want to just say it and just see what happens. I think, you know, maybe this is why I felt like a clown, because I feel like I juggle all these ideas around, and some I know I can throw away, some, you know, and I feel like I'm so busy doing that, I'm not even putting my own in. So I think, you know, going forward, I really just want to say my decision in these meetings. And I think in that way, I just would feel much more ownership.
Yes, fantastic. And what will you say no to?
I'm going to say no to you're just kind of keeping my ideas within. You know, just kind of out of, you know, I guess I do that just I don't really want to, you know, bump heads with other people or step on people's toes. But, you know, I wonder, you know, just saying no to not saying what, you know, I believe when it comes to decisions.
Excellent, excellent. So the next time you have a meeting, how do you want to show up?
You know, I want to show up, you know, well, first I want to start the meeting, you know, on time, and I want to start it with a strong agenda, and really just kind of a presence of direction and command.
Excellent. Will you do this?
Yes, yeah, I will.
I heard a little hesitation there. So can you give it to me again, standing in that I am decisive authority?
Yes. Yes, I will.
Excellent. Can you feel the difference?
Yeah, really. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good. I could too. So, and how will I know that you have done this?
I believe that, you know, I think a lot of these problems and feelings I have will go away. You know, I think, you know, next time we speak, I think I can, you know, speak to, you know, an improved perception of how I feel, you know, coming from Leona towards my work, and, you know, and even an improved perception of, you know, how I'm operating and running meetings. You know, I think results will show up in my work and within the office, and I think I could speak to those.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to hearing all about it. That's our time for today. So I'd just like to thank you and say I can really hear you owning your authority, and I know you will do great in this meeting.
All right. Well, that's great to hear. I appreciate that.
Good. All right. Well, I'll talk to you sometime soon after that meeting. Good luck, Greg.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You too.